Tension grips Okol community as clan faction rejects coronation of newly selected traditional ruler. Tension has erupted within the Okol community following a dramatic turn of events around the planned coronation of the newly selected traditional ruler, Jude Ogik. What was expected to be a smooth cultural transition has instead ignited sharp disagreements, exposing deep divisions among clan members only days after the Acholi cultural leadership had given an official green light for the ceremony. The controversy intensified on Tuesday when the Prime Minister of the Acholi paramount chief of Rwot faction, that's Rwot, Otinga, Atwa, Otoyai, publicly announced that the coronation of Ogik could proceed. Otinga explained that the chief contesting the position, Larem Nono, failed to appear for a scheduled mediation and verification meeting that had been set to settle the matter once and for all. According to Otinga, the absence of Nono, who had earlier challenged the legitimacy of Ogik's selection, gave Ogik's camp the freedom to move forward with coronation preparations without further delays. Speaking to the announcement, the Prime Minister emphasized that cultural procedures had been followed and that the office of the Chief of Parliament, Paramount Chief, was ready to facilitate a smooth transition. He noted that if Ogik required any form of cultural support, especially the acquisition of essential regalia such as royal beads, spears, or ceremonial attire, the institution was willing to assist. The declaration was widely interpreted as the final clearance needed to end weeks of consultations, internal vetting, and negotiations between the two rival camps. However, the apparent calm was short-lived. By Saturday, the situation had dramatically shifted, with a significant section of the community distancing itself from the planned coronation. In an emergency meeting held in Mushwini East Sub-County, influential elders, youth leaders, and representatives of various women's groups gathered to discuss the emerging concerns. In an anonymous decision, the group rejected the coronation and called for the process to be halted until what they described as fundamental irregularities are resolved. Sources at the meeting revealed that some leaders accused the Prime Minister's office of rushing the coronation without adequately addressing historical clan dynamics, lineage questions, and unresolved disputes related to Ogik's eligibility. Others claimed that the absence of the rival candidate, Larem Nono, should not have automatically been interpreted as consent, arguing that deeper internal consultation was still necessary. Several youth representatives voiced fears that pushing ahead with the coronation could trigger physical confrontations or long-term divisions in the clan. They argued that the community needed unity, not a rushed cultural event that risked emboldening factions. Women leaders, on their part, raised concerns about what they called a lack of inclusivity, stating that many grassroots members were unaware of the final consultations that led to Ogik's approval. We want peace, not a coronation that will divide our children and grandchildren for many years, one elder reportedly said during the meeting. The sentiment was echoed by several speakers who urged the Paramount Chief's office, the faction of Acana, to return to the negotiation table rather than enforce a ceremony rejected by a large section of the clan. Attempts to reach Jude Ogik or members of his leadership committee for a response were unsuccessful by press time. It remains unclear whether the coronation committee will continue with preparations or pause the process in response to the growing resistance. The Paramount Chief's office has also not issued a fresh statement following Saturday's developments, leaving many residents uncertain about whether the coronation will proceed as originally scheduled. As tensions continue to rise, observers warn that the Okol community risks entering a prolonged period of cultural and political instability unless a consensus is reached. Community mediators and elders from neighboring clans are expected to intervene in the coming days in an effort to restore calm and guide the process toward a harmonious resolution.